Right, are they all in? We can't see the back of the stalls. They are, and away they go for the 90th Qatar Prix de l'Arc de Triomphe. So in the very early stages, Haruno Damour is right up there on the far side, beginning to move into the lead towards the outside, and indeed you were right, Treasure Beach is the one that goes on. Treasure Beach then from Shareta towards the outside, then after these comes St Nicholas Abbey with the black cap purple. Gallicover on the rails is 5th or 6th. Towards the outside, Mars Marvel is prominent, followed by Snow Fairy and Méandre, and Reliable Man towards the rear of the field with the blue sleeves. That one followed then by Sarafina. So they settle down up past the Petit Bois, and about a mile to go from this point, and it's Treasure Beach who's opened up a serious lead over Shareta, 3 lengths back in second. Then after these comes towards the inside is Testosterone is right there. Mars Marvel, the plain yellow cap, towards the inside just behind Shareta. You can see Haruno Damour, but it's still making the running as they start the turn and come back down towards home now, and it's still in the lead. Treasure Beach by 4 lengths from Shareta in second. Then after these comes St Nicholas Abbey in third. Just behind St Nicholas Abbey is towards the outside Testosterone, Haruno Damour and Mars Marvel, who's in 6th place. And then after these comes Danedream and Méandre. Reliable Man on the outside, the blue sleeves. And I'm looking for Sarafina. She's got 3 behind her, but it was the same last year, and she's not going to get caught in among horses this time. Now beginning to go on, St Nicholas Abbey. St Nicholas Abbey goes on from Treasure Beach towards the outside. Then is Shareta, close behind these Haruno Damour. Mars Marvel being ridden along, also being ridden along in the dark colours, Testosterone. Méandre coming with a run towards the outside, but it's still in the lead now as they go for it. St Nicholas Abbey from Shareta, still looking back, and here comes Sarafina. Can she do it? 200 metres to go, and it's Danedream who's gone to the front. Sarafina's surely got too much to do, but it's Danedream who's gone to the front, quick and clear, and Sarafina way back in 5th, but Danedream shot out of the pack. I have to say I'm quite surprised. I don't think you're quite surprised, are you, William?
Well, we said this was a massively improving filly. She cost absolutely nothing, but she has spread-eagled one of the most competitive art fields we've ever seen. What a performance. Andre Stark winning his first ever art.
She's absolutely trotted at them.
A whole line of rivals came at her behind her, but none of them could get anywhere close to this extraordinary filly.
Last time a German horse won this, it wasn't ridden by a German jockey either. Shareta looks as if she was second. Third, Snow Fairy. 4, So You Think. 5, Méandre, by the look of it, and 6, Sarafina. So, number 15, Danedream, trained Peter Schergen, ridden by Andre Stark, wins the Qatar Prix de l'Arc de Triomphe, and very nearly 2 million sterling. Second, number 13, Shareta, owned by the Aga Khan and trained by Alain de Roy-Dupré. Third, number 8, Snow Fairy, trained Ed Dunlop for Anna Moine Limited, ridden by Frankie Dettori. And fourth, number 6, the Hope of Australia, was So You Think, ridden by Shamie Heffernan. In 5th place, number 2, St Nicholas Abbey. Well, disappointing Sarafina, ridden much as she was last year, every chance in the wide outside, but couldn't get there.
No, we thought for a moment that things were going nicely for her, weren't they, Robin? Not like last year, but she just didn't show that same electric pace. And a very interesting thing, of course, is the winner is a 3-year-old, and 3-year-olds just have seemed to dominate the arc in recent years. And a 3-year-old filly, that's a slightly more rare winner, but it does seem to be a 3-year-old's race these days. The older horses face a tougher task, and for example, we saw Workforce, not really Figure. We saw the The Japanese horses slightly struggled, and So You Think couldn't do it either. So You Think, all the Aussies wanted that one to win, an Aussie superstar, and done well this season, but So You Think didn't have the pace either to match this 3-year-old filly. The time of 2 minutes 24.49. Have a look and see how that compares. It's probably a pretty quick time, I imagine.
Well, Starker is no chicken. I think he's one of the senior riders, but he's been on the international scene. Has he been I think he's been to Hong Kong and ridden, hasn't he?
Yes, rode very successfully over there. He's a former champion jockey in Germany. Perhaps you'd say he's in the later stages of his career now, but this will be his biggest ever win. Absolutely fabulous performance. Yes, slightly unexpected. According to the betting, he was a 26-1, one of the outsiders, although Shareta, who was second, was an even bigger price at about 70-1, whereas Snow Ferry, third, the fabulous filly from England, was quite well fancied.
That's interesting. fillies first, second and third.
Yes, it was a long run when fillies didn't win this race. They won it a few years ago with Zerkava. That ended a losing run that went back to Urban Sea, and now they're back in style. In fact, there was a headline in the Racing Post last week saying, "Is this the year of the fillies?" And whoever wrote that story couldn't have been more right.
Well, milking the applause, and I don't blame him. Danedream, a 3-year-old filly by Lomitas, who I think raced very successfully in Germany out of a mare called Danedrop. Bred at the Gestut Stad Brumerhof in Germany, so it's a real German victory. I think the last German winner was ridden by Greville Starkey, but I can't remember its name.
Star Appeal? Star Appeal?
Star Appeal, I think you're right. And I think Star Appeal was German trained, but ridden by the late, lovely Greville Starkey.
I think it was Gary Moore, wasn't it? Gary Moore who rode him.
Well, you may be right, but there you are. It's going a long time back, and you're probably right, and I'm probably wrong. But
what those two horses shared in common, they were both unfancied according to the betting. But we were observing here yesterday, Robin, that actually German-trained horses over this weekend have actually a pretty good record over the years, especially as there aren't many of them.
Yeah.
Albrecht Stark looks pretty surprised there that he's won, but he hasn't just won.
Well, don't forget to weigh in, is what I always say to these guys with all this going on. Don't forget to weigh in. Well, that's nice. He's having a real parade in front of the people.
That time of 2 minutes 24.49 indicates that the ground has dried up. It is a very, very quick time indeed. It is over 10 seconds faster than last year when Workforce won. It's the fastest time for an awful long time. I think in the last 20 years at least, looking back here. So that shows what a pace Treasure Beach set. It also shows the ground was quick. It also shows that Danedream, who won some of his races on soft ground, can do it on the very fast ground as well.
Wow.
By the mighty Peter Schirgen, one of Germany's top trainers for many, many years now.
Well, in a moment we'll be able to run them up for you. We've got the first 5. Which will come up on our results screen, the distances and the placings. I We'll have a rerun for you in a moment or two. We can look back and see what happened to horses like Workforce, Nakayama Festa, not seen much of. Hiruna D'Amour broke well and ran well in the first 4 or 5 for a long way before dropping back. Mass Marvel looked quite dangerous halfway up the straight, but just ran on one pace.
Well, I'm not sure that many of this crowd have had money on this horse, but she's been greeted in a very sportsmanlike manner. After all, she has just won perhaps the greatest horse race in the world, and she's won it by a street. And I'm just going to read what Peter Sheargan, the trainer, said beforehand. He said he wasn't worried about the ground. It was fast when she won the Italian Oaks, and also at Hoppegarten in Germany it was extremely soft. He said, in my view, 3-year-old fillies are very well treated by the conditions of the race. And it's a 3-year-old filly that not only won, finished second, and a 4-year-old filly who's finished third. We can see that Meandre was 6th, Serafina 7th, Silver Pond 8th, Galakova 9th, Hirona D'Amour 10th. Yes, I thought Meandre for 1 minute was going to launch a serious challenge. That faded slightly, but he's run a very good race. Serafina's run faded slightly, and Galakova never really got going. In fact, Galakova, there was a 4-length gap back to where she finished.
So the distance is 3 lengths, neck, and half a length. Well, enormous excitement. Whatever wins is always going to result in this tremendous excitement around the parade ring. So the distance is 3 lengths, a neck and half a length. Let's just recap the result once again of the Qatar Prix de l'Arc de Triomphe, the 90th running of this great race. The winner, number 15, Danedream, trained by Peter Sheargan, ridden by Andras Starker. Second was number 13, Shareta, trained Andre de Roy Dupré, ridden by Thierry Jarnet. Third was Snow Fairy, trained Ed Dunlop, ridden by Frankie Dettori. And fourth to finish was So You Think, trained by Aidan O'Brien, ridden by Shamie Heffernan. They'll be very disappointed, I think, with Workforce. I can't recollect really seeing him there with any sort of a chance at any stage.
No, he wasn't. I mean, I must say the vibes weren't too strong beforehand, were they?
No.
A combination of factors that we mentioned before the race. And no, he was never going to repeat last year's win.
There's Nicholas Abbey there with a black cap. Shareta, Aga Khan's second string in your picture. I hope we'll have a chance to see the complete rerun of the race. And there's Danedream coming with this amazing run to go 3 clear on the line.
And those who believe you can't get a bargain by buying a racehorse, better look at the price that was paid for Danedream at the sales. It was minuscule. It was something like 6,000 euros or something.
Well, a 4-figure sum.
It was a minuscule amount, and she's just won one of the richest horse races in the world, and how far can she go?
Just looking at this, Workforce comes through from the back out towards the far side. There's 7, 8, 9, 10 horses in front of him.
The big surprise to me, Robin, is in such an open race, the victory has been so easy. I can't believe it.
Yes, I think, I don't know if any jockeys will claim hard luck stories, but I don't think anything, the way the race was run, was going to beat this filly today.
Absolutely. But it had looked like a race that so many could win, and You imagine we might get a very tight finish, as we've seen so often this afternoon. There is jockey's excitement. Dettori clutching Andre Stark, who we'll have ridden against in many of the great races over the years.
Well, out on the track in front of us now, the band now mounted. The podium has been drawn out in front of the royal box, the president's box. I don't know if the President Sarkozy is here today. We shall discover in a moment or two. Difficult to actually see it live. We're going to have to watch it on our screens as you are. But watching the band, it's a band of 25 beautiful chestnut, matched chestnut horses, led by 2 greys, and in the front the band leader. Terrific sight. And they're approaching the winning post now. Just well, let's have a look. They've got the benefit thing. Now see if we can pick out Workforce. I can just see the pink cap behind the Aga Khan's green, and Ryan Moore sort of looking for a way through. Finally decides to switch to the outside. He's off our picture at the moment. And look at this Danedream now. Just hung off the whip a bit, but didn't interfere with anything at all.
That's a Meandre and Serafina we saw out wide, both making late headway, but not nearly enough. So you think the former Aussie star ran a good race, no doubt about that. Didn't quite find the brilliance with which he has been associated both in Australia and in Ireland. But this was a slightly longer trip than he'd raced over, or that he'd won over rather, although he has actually ran in the Melbourne Cup, but he's never won over this far. Maybe that's found him out, I don't know.
I think that was probably So You Think that we saw today. Do you remember he just beat Workforce, didn't he, in Sandown early in the year, just fairly narrowly,
but he'd beaten Snow Fairy last time.
Yes.
And Snow Fairy beat him this time, although there's not, like you can see in the distance, there's not a huge amount in that. Snow Fairy's run an absolute cracker, this brilliant 4-year-old filly.
Well, only a neck between the pair of them today, you see, so they've probably run their form.
That's right, looks like. Well, I think it was half a length in Ireland, a neck, exactly. They have run their form, yeah. Galakova, it's crowned what has to be said is a disappointing day for trainer Freddie Head and the Wertheimer family. They've suffered various defeats, notably with Golden Cobra in the Prix de la Forêt. Previously, the brilliant 14 times Group 1 winner was just eclipsed by Dream Ahead. And now Galakova, who admittedly this was only an afterthought running in the art really, has proved slightly disappointing, but I'm sure next year she'll have many successes.
Well, there'll be the usual ceremony in front of the winning post in a moment or two. And what they do is they bring a carriage, a horse-drawn carriage, into the parade ring, and the connections pile in. I think William, in a way, is going to be able to see this live rather better than I can. That's what they normally do. At the moment, we're seeing replays, but they normally pile the connections into a carriage and go down to the podium in the horse-drawn carriage. I'm trying to pick up what's coming out on the public address at the moment. It's a little bit difficult. I'm waiting for the winning connections to come out onto the track. Well, here we are. Here. This is what I was looking for. Led by the traditionally dressed coachman. And as I've remarked before, the French do a marvellous job with their country-bred horses. The national stud in France encourages all the breeds, native breeds, and I'm not able to tell you exactly what breed these are, but beautifully matched team of greys. And the attendant staff, the groom and coachman with the top hats, I bet they're hot to wear today. And those will be the owners of the Berg Eberstein stud, and Mr. Teruya Yoshida is also a joint owner.
Yes, I believe last week a deal was done whereby Mr. Yoshida would purchase a large share in this horse, and what a purchase that has turned out to be. It's one of the great Japanese owner breeders. Now owns a share of Danedream, and that was before this filly went on to win the Arc.
We've got not one but three carriages full of enthusiasts, and in the third, well, there's one for the owner, one for the trainer, and the jockey's in the third one, just passing below us now. What a wonderful moment. Well, they're too much under the lip of our commentary box to see them live, but the jockey's carriage just approaching the podium now. There it is back on our screens again. And, well, one assumes his family, his wife, daughter maybe, I don't know. It's just an assumption, but a happy, certainly family group. Andras Starker. I don't know if you I've never spoken to him. Have you, William? Does he speak English?
He does speak some English, yeah. I did briefly speak to him in Hong Kong a few years ago when he was having a good spell over there. He did actually receive a ban for some time. I think it was a few months for sort of non-racing offence, but he bounced back quickly and he rode again there, and he's doing very well in Germany again, and he's a former champion jockey in Germany. And I'm just trying to find that last German train winner to decide whether you or I were right about the jockey. I know I think you're more right. I was thinking of Gold River, which was actually French train. That was ridden by Gary Moore. I think you're absolutely right. I think it was Greville Starkey, but it actually goes back.
And who was the trainer of Star Appeal? Does it give you it there?
Just trying to find it. Yes, it was Theo Greiper.
Exactly.
And you're absolutely right. Greville Starkey rode it. The odds were 119 to 1.
I think it has the honour of being the longest prize start winner, I believe. I'm not sure. But this one was fairly long odds, that's for sure. There in the background goes the coach. You get a ride down, boys, to collect your trophy, but you walk back. Well, I really enjoy seeing these, then it's not on your screen, but seeing these native breeds trotting by. 3 open Landors. Well, now who have we got there? I don't know if Mr. Sarkozy is here today. Look at that. Look at that trophy, model of the Arc de Triomphe itself. Wow. To ensure that for a bit. Bermonza, the boss of France Gallo on the extreme left. And there will be representatives there, obviously, of the Qatari Equestrian Association. His Highness Sheikh Abdullah bin Khalifa Al Thani is in my race card as the man who presented the prize. Also, Monsieur Christophe de Margerie, who's President Director General of Total Petrol. And finally, His Excellency Monsieur Mohammed Jaham Al Kuwari, who is the Qatari ambassador in France. Well, tremendous support from these generous sponsors who have entered into, in the last 3 or 4 years, this is the 4th year that Qatar has sponsored this meeting, but they're going to make a real difference to European racing on the track via Pearl Bloodstock and in other ways as well. And of course they have supported our Champions Day at Ascot in 2 weeks' time as well.
That's right, they're making a very big contribution. Danedream, extraordinary. I mean, he was actually beaten into 3rd in the Italian Derby, and the Italian Derby is never thought to be a particularly strong race, is it? Well, it's a Group 1. But since that day, she went on to win the Italian Oaks, and seemed to just got stronger and stronger in the second half of the season, prior to this really unbelievable performance today.
Well, she's an improver. That doesn't go far enough back form-wise to say what she did as a 2-year-old. Anyway. Well, there they are, the winning connections.
Peter Sheargan standing to the right of Andras Stark, his son, or maybe Andras' son, had a trophy just covering his face there, but that is the trainer. This is the richest ever running of the Prix de l'Arc de Triomphe.
Just short, a little bit under 2 million sterling. I mean, 30,000 less than 2 million sterling. That was a brief glimpse of Princess Zara walking out. And there the jockeys going back to pre-race workforce. Well, our next race this afternoon is quite a change, but as far as trainers and owners of Arabians, purebred Arabians go, I suppose the coming race is just important to them. There are 16 runners in the pre-Qatar Arabian World Cup. So, William, I think your Arabic is better than mine. Do you want to do the runners and riders for me?
I'll give it a go, Robin. I see, by the way, that Andras Stark has a ride in this race too, so he'll be on a bit of a high. Right. Yes, number 1 is Naif Al-Khalida, Mikel Barcelona, the jockey. Number 2, Azra Min Al-Baq, Ted Durkin. Cassie, number 3, Thierry Tulliers. Number 4 is Rehan Iritz Mendezabel. Number 5, Jaffa ASF, ridden by Alan Munro, jockey who's ridden all over the world. Aziz ASF, Stefan Pasquier. Muazzaz, Frank Blondel. Hilal Al-Zaman is FX Bertrand. Theoretically, Gerald Mosse, Poulain Cossack, Andras Stark, Rakia, Olivier Peslier, Ariz, Neil Callan, Altair, Dominic Boulin. Next one is Makeby, Johan Victoire, 15, Asata Geno, Andras de Vries, and Dubai Heroes, number 16, Thierry Janet. And just to give an idea of what the betting public think is the most likely winner, there's 4 horses coupled together, number 3, number 4, number 11, number 13, and they're a pretty warm favourite, with the one that looks most expected to win is number 11, Rakia, the mount of Olivier Pellier.
Well, normally in these races I like to note down the grey horses. However, looking through the race card, I found it much quicker to note down the 2 chestnuts and the 2 bays, and the rest are all greys. So let's hope we can talk our way through it. We've got Cassie, Rehan and Rakia and Altair, all in the same colours. The maroon with white spots, and those are the colours of numbers 3 and 4. That's right, the colours of Sheikh Abdullah bin Khalifa Al Thani. Well, he's got 5 of the runners in. He's actually got more. He's got 6 or 7 of the runners here, so I think he's odds on to win.
Thank you. Ganz gar nicht passen. Das geht da nicht rein. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.